It is April the 10th, 2019. This is Nathan Hazlett, and I just want to do an update of world news just to spread knowledge. I get my sources from a variety of major news networks. I have access to all the world's major news networks. So I'm just going to talk a bit about them, maybe throw in an opinion here or there. But anyway, major scientific breakthrough today. I'll start with that, which is outside the Earth, but major breakthrough for science, and that is the first photograph of a black hole. So this is said to be massive, absolutely colossal. I'm not even going to attempt to say the figure here, but 53 million light years away. It's said to be in the heart of the galaxy M83, and apparently it's a confederation of scientists around the world who've worked together on this project, and they've come back with this first photograph of a black hole. So that's a major scientific breakthrough in the year where we mark 50 years since the moon landing. That's a profound scientific pioneering moment. So I think that will definitely go down in scientific history books. Getting back to Earth, the world's as troubled as ever. On the African continent, there are several major uprisings going on. In Sudan, people have descended on the presidential palace in Khartoum for a fifth day. Unfortunately, people have died. The figure's anywhere from 37 to over 60 at this point. Um, Unfortunately, change, particularly in developing countries, rarely comes without bloodshed. But if this overthrows Bashir, who's one of the world's very worst dictators, and it can be done without leading into full scale civil war, that's a good thing. So there's also major protests, of course, going on in Algeria, and both situations, Al Jazeera has been covering widely. Both situations are ongoing, both situations are fluid. In Algeria, President Bouteflika, the octogenarian president, has stepped down. The protesters are not happy with his replacement, so it's ongoing, and I hope it will be as violence free as much as possible. Some are dubbing this Arab Spring too, so it'll be interesting to see how this develops in both countries. Um, and it's yet another reminder that it isn't a given that people want so called strongmen leaders or dictators. In Libya, of course, General Haftar, his advance on Tripoli continues. Fierce fighting reported in the capital. Antonio Guterres has warned of an escalating situation. The UN Secretary General has said that the international community needs to really pay attention to this. It's one of those things that I feel that Western countries are damned if they do and damned if they don't. But perhaps we have taken our eye off the ball on this. After removing Gaddafi, some are now saying that Haftar wants to be a second Gaddafi, and that would be a very big problem. But clearly, Libya is a very troubled country and it needs some stability. So, again, that's an ongoing situation. In Yemen, 14 schoolgirls were killed in an airstrike. The Houthi rebels have been accused of using human shields. And Saudi Arabia, of course, stands accused of having a lot of blood on its hands, along with its those who sell arms, including my country. Looking at the Americas, at the UN summit in New York City, Vice President Pence made a very blunt statement to the Venezuelan ambassador. With all due respect, sir, you shouldn't be here. You should go back to Caracas and tell Maduro to step down. Russia, not surprisingly, which is propping up the Maduro regime, countered that. So that's being the scenes at the UN today. In Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu looks like he has won a fifth election, which could make him on course to being Israel's longest serving premier. At the moment, he's second only to David Ben Gurion. Netanyahu, of course, has lurched well to the right of late. He's always been right wing and hawkish, but particularly in recent months. So Israeli moderates will definitely be concerned about that. And here in Europe, of course, Brexit, Brexit, Brexit. I barely watch British news nowadays because it's so predictable that it will be yet another amendment or another delay. Or so Theresa May's been in Brussels. She shared a laugh with Angela Merkel. Basically, the two women were wearing the same dress. So kind of a trivial point on what is serious matters on the future of a nation. But I guess leaders need to have down moments, otherwise they go crazy. So May, of course, is seeking yet another extension. I do think if it went ahead a full year, I could understand the anger of leavers if that happened. Because then we'd be taking part in the EU elections, and they would say it just shows that the 2016 referendum hasn't been respected. Having said that, that online petition, those who want to revoke Article 50, it's now over 6 million people. Those who want an immediate withdrawal with a no deal, 600,000. In other words, 10 times as many people have signed a petition to revoke Article 50. So I think the Leave side need to stop regurgitating this line about the will of the people. Right now, no one really knows what the will of the people is. That's pretty obvious to me. Clearly, if 17 million people wanted a no deal Brexit, then close to 17 million people would be signing that petition for a no deal Brexit, but they haven't. Why not? So it's worth thinking about. Um, and that's it. The world is always moving. The world is always developing. Um, Forward, backward. There's always something going on. Severe floods in Iran. Over 70 people dead there. I believe they're the most serious floods in Iran for some time. Anyway, that is the world on the 10th of April, 2019.